Okay, guys. So, good evening to all of you. So, I think, today the third day of this boot camp. Okay, where we are learning about SQL, structured query language. Okay. Hopefully, till now you are enjoying the session and you are able to understand like the things which I am delivering over here. Okay. Till yesterday we have discussed about I think about 10 or 15 queries we have discussed till now, and today we are going to discuss about a few like a very interesting queries, and many of you even asking about this like this thing yesterday. So today the main agenda is to discuss about the constraint, primary key, and there's a like a foreign key and all. Okay, so we are going to discuss about like these things one by one. Okay, so let me share my screen first. So let me share my screen. Okay. So yeah, if I am not wrong, so we have discussed till like a truncate command yesterday, and we discussed that like what can happen into the truncate command. So with the truncate command, we can delete all the rows or all the values which you have inserted into the table. So that can be deleted into just with just one single line by using a truncate command. Okay, so this is where we can use a truncate. Now the next command is like update command. Okay, so let me open my SQL workbench. Okay, and we have this table now with orders. Okay, so let me first check that what is right now inside this table. So right now inside this table we have nothing, because actually yesterday what we have done, we simply delete all the values which is present into this into this particular table. Okay, so what I will do, first I will try to insert like a few values over here. So I can write insert into orders, and the name of the table is orders, and so I think we have three column over here: order ID, then we have a price, and then we have a customer name. Okay, and I should write over here that I'm using this particular uh, like a table, this particular database. Okay, I think okay. This should not be orders. This should be a bootcamp, because we are using the name of the database is bootcamp. Okay, and now let me put the values over here. So I can take the values as one order ID, price I can take maybe 4,000, and then name of the customer I can take Shiva, and that's it. With this, we are able to put the value over here. Okay, now we can try to copy this thing for multiple times. Okay, so at least I can try to put five values over here. Fine. I need to change this order ID maybe. Okay, and in place of 4,000 it can be 5,000, it can be 6,000, it can be 3,000. Then I can change the name as well. So Shivam. Okay, Soumya, and then I can write Shiv, and then I can write Shivani. Fine. So these are the name over here, and fine. Now I can try to run this, and now you can see like all the rows are affected. And now if I run select star from the name of this table orders, so yes, you can see my table, and into this table we have like order ID, price, and customer name. Fine. So we are creating a table and inserting the value inside the table is not a very big task for you right now because we have done a lot of things. We have created like a table so many times and we have put the values into that table. Now here the next command is update command. Okay, so let's try to understand this, that what is the meaning of update command, guys. So suppose like over here into my column, you can see we have like a customer name as Shivam, we have a customer name as Suham, we have a customer name as Soumya, then Shiv, and then Shivani. Okay, suppose if I want to update any value over here, so like in case of a Shivani, the price is 4,000. Let's assume that I want to update this price. Maybe this price is not 4,000, this may be 8,000, or this may be 10,000. So if I want to update it, okay, so there I can use the update command. Even if I want to even if you want to update anything, like suppose if I want to update the customer name somewhere, so in place of Soumya, if I want something else, so yes, we can update it by using the update command. Okay, so let's see that how we can update how I can utilize the update command over here, how I can update the values. Okay, so I can write update orders. Okay, so first I need to write the name of the table where I want to update something. Okay, so I want to update something into my orders table. Then I can try to set the price. Okay, so right now the price over here is 4,000. Maybe I want to make it 7,000. Okay, where where order ID is equals to 7. Okay, so what I have written, update order, set price equals to 7,000. So initially it is 4,000, but I am changing it to 7,000, and I'm giving condition that where I want to update this. Sorry, guys. And I am giving condition over here that where I want to update this value, I want to update this particular price where the order ID is 7. Okay, that's it. Now I can try to execute this particular line, and let's see the result. Okay, so you can see that one row is affected. Okay, and now if I run this particular line, if I try to check my table, so yes, into the table you can see the value is updated now. Okay, so initially or previously the value is 4,000, but now it becomes 7,000 because you have updated the value over here. Okay, so I guess this thing is like clear to everyone. Okay, I guess, guys, now into if you open this link over here, like this attendance link, so and even into this YouTube also, you can see this SQL PPT is present. Okay, so I have already, okay, yeah, again, the team has already put the PPT into the chat box. Okay, so I guess now everyone is having that PPT and like a PDF. Okay, so fine, guys. So let me again come on to my workbench and let me continue this. So this is about update command, guys. Okay. So I guess we have discussed a lot of things till now, and hopefully you guys are able to understand that what are all the what are all the things we can do by using a different command. Okay, now this is one of the very important concept into the SQL. Okay, so I can call this thing as a constraint, or you can call this thing as a rule. Okay, so maybe when you have when you try to put some condition, okay, over your table, or you try to put some rule over the table, or over the values which is present to the table, so there we can use this particular constants. Okay, now these constants are nothing but like you can see, we have a primary key, we have a foreign key, we have like a not null thing over here, then we have a check, and along with this not null, we have a unique also. Okay, so we have a unique constraint, we have a not null constraint, we have like a check constraint, and then we have primary key and foreign key. Okay, so one by one, let's try to understand about like these constraint and about these like a primary and foreign key. Okay, so let's first start with the not null constant. Okay, let's start with the not null. Let's try to understand that what is the meaning of not null. Okay, so till now we are talking about the queries. We are discussing about the commands. Now from here I'm going to we are going to discuss about the constants. Okay, so let me just write in this way. uh, okay, so I'm making a gap over here so that now it is done that now we are going to start with the constants. Okay, so now what I can do, I can try to create a table over here. So create table, and okay, so I can try to create one new table over here. Create table person, and into this I can try to put some value. Okay, I'm using a bootcamp database. Okay, so okay, one second. Use bootcamp, I guess. Yeah, and then create table, the name of the table. Okay, why it is showing me the error over here? Okay, fine. It may be something. Okay, let me write down first. Then it can be the person ID, and person ID should be an integer. Okay, now guys, I'm writing over here that this ID should be a not null. Okay, this ID should be a not null. And then we can write a different thing over here, like the name of like a person, and this should be into the character. Okay, so name cannot be write directly, so p name, work here. And then maybe I can write the salary over here, so salary of a person, and again salary will be in form of an integer. Now great, I guess there will be no problem. Okay, so now this table is created. This table is created with the name persons. Okay, where we have like three columns. So first column is person ID, second column is person name, and third column is person salary. Now I can try to execute this, and you can see this row is affected. There is no problem with this like creating a table. Now, guys, what is the concept of not null over here? What is the meaning of not null? Let's try to understand that. Okay, so now suppose if now the second thing, after creating a table, what we're trying to do. So after creating a table, my objective is to put the value inside that table. Okay, so it's always my objective that to put the insert the values inside a table. Okay, so how I can insert the values? So I can write insert uh, into persons. Okay, and there are three things over here. So I can write maybe first I can write p name. Okay, and then I can write salary, and I can write values over here. So let me put the values over here. So maybe the person name is Shivam. Okay, and the salary is maybe like 57,000. Okay, let's see. Now, guys, actually, I didn't written anything for like person ID. Okay, now you know, like if you remember, so like into the last session yesterday itself, I tried to create one new column with name location. Okay, but I didn't put any value inside that location. So into that particular column, we have all the values as null. Okay, so suppose if you're creating this column over here, but if you're not putting any value over here, like you can see, like I'm not putting any value for person ID. So automatically it by default it takes the null, it will assign null to this person ID. But the problem over here is that I have already written that this person ID should not be null. Okay, so if I try to execute this particular line, so it will start showing me an error. Okay, now you can see that field person id does not have a default value. Okay, so by default the value will automatically be null. Okay, but since we have written over here that this should not be a null value, because I have written over here as not null. Okay, so that's why it is showing me an error that this you should take some value, you should assign some value to this person id, because it should not be a null value. Okay, now if you try to write over here as person id, and now if you try to assign some value over here, let me write 11. So now there will be no problem. Okay, now if I try to run this, so yes, it will run. And now you can see there will be no problem, one row is affected. And now you can try to write select star from persons, and you can see the table. Okay, so now into your table, you can see we have this table over here. Okay, so this is what like a meaning of not null over here. Okay, fine. So not null means the value should not be, there should not be a null value. Okay, so by default if you're not assigning any value to any column, okay, suppose if I make this as not null, okay, or suppose if I'm not assigning any value to this person name, okay, so by default here the value will be null. Okay, so if you're not assigning any value to any column, it will be a null. But suppose if you have written not null over here, so now this value should not be a null value. Okay, so now into this column there should be some value, there should not be a null value. Okay, I hope now is it this is clear to everyone. Okay, now okay, so I think we have done with this not null. So what I can do, I can try to first drop this table, because again for the unique. Okay, so there is the second constraint. You can see there's a second constraint over here which is unique. Okay, so in order to understand the second constraint, again I need to do something. I need to write that unique over here itself. Okay, so what I can do, so I need to make any of these column as a unique one. Okay, so let me first drop this table. Okay, so I can simply write drop and the name of the table. So name of the table will be nothing but persons. So sorry, drop table and then table name. So let's drop it first. Now we have dropped the table. Now let's try to create the table again. Now this time, what I want to write, I want to make this as unique. Okay, so I want to make this as unique. Okay, and definitely if there is some unique number, so definitely it should not be like null value. So I can write unique over here. Okay. Now what will happen? What is the meaning of unique? So unique means, guys. So earlier you can see that yesterday when we have created this particular table, and when we are trying to insert the value over here, so I try to repeat some entries. Okay, I try to repeat some like a order ID and some numbers. Okay, but if you assign this person ID as unique, now this can be helpful like into the like you can see the registration id of every student is always different. Okay, so I can write over here that this person ID should be unique. Okay, so it's like at least the ID should not be repeated. Okay, so here if I take 11 for one time, so if for the second time also this should not be like 11. Okay, this should be like something else. Okay, so if I write unique over here, and now if I try to execute this, so yes, there will be no problem. The table will be created, and now I can try to run even this also. Okay, I can try to run even this also. Okay, but now if I try to copy this, okay, now if I try to copy this, and if I try to run this again, okay, with the same person id, you can see that I am not changing a person id over here. I can try to change the name over here, like Satyam I can take, and even I can try to change this number also, like I can make it as 47,000. Now if I run this, let's see. Now if I try to execute this, so now it is showing me an error. Okay, that duplicate entry 11 for key person PID. Okay, so it should not be like a repeated one. It should not be a duplicate one. Okay, so if we are getting an error over here now, what I need to do is I need to change this ID. Okay, so now if I take 12 over here, so now it will run. Okay, so now there will be no problem in the execution. Okay, and now you can see the table. Okay, so now we have two values inside my table. One is 11 Shivam and 57,000. Second one is 12 Satyam and 47,000. Okay, so this is the meaning of like not null and unique, guys. Okay, so not null means the value should not be a null value, and unique means you should not repeat the value again and again. Okay, there should not be any duplicate value. Okay, so fine, I guess there will be no problem with these two constant. Okay, and now you can see that all these rule we are assigning over here itself. Okay, at a time of creating a table, we are making this rule. Okay, so that's why like these constant are nothing but you can say it's a rule. Okay, now you make this rule at a time of creating a table itself. Okay, now the third constant, okay, so this is my first constant, not null. This is the second constant, unique. And now it's time to discuss about the third constant. Again, if I want to discuss about the third constant, guys, so what I need to do is I need to first again try to drop this table over here. Okay, and then use this like a bootcamp. Now, what I can do, the third constant is actually a check constant, guys. Okay, so what I can do over here, I can try to check, make a check constant over here, and I can write check salary. Salary should be greater than, let's assume 40,000. Okay, or maybe a 50,000. Okay, so now I have given this constant over here, I have given this rule over here, so I can put only those entries, I can put only those entries over here, I can put only like those entries into my table where the salary is more than 50,000. Okay, I cannot go with those entries where the salary is less than 40,000. Okay, sorry, 50,000. Now if I try to execute this table, so it will execute perfectly. You can see there is the zero row is affected, and now you can I can try to run this particular single line. Okay, and there will be no problem because the salary is 57,000. But if I try to execute this, if I try to execute the second entry, so now it will give me an error. Okay, so you can see the check constant person check is violated. Okay, so actually the check constant is violated over here. Okay, so we should not have like any entry where the salary is less than 50,000. Okay, we should have an entry, we should have only those entries where the value, where the salary is more than 50,000. Okay, so now if I make this as 77,000, then it will execute. Now you can see the green tick over there, and you can see the cheaper. Okay, so these are the three constant, guys. First is not null, second one is unique, and third one is check. Okay, so I guess all these three constants are clear to everyone. Okay, so let me just check, like open the YouTube and let me check if you have any like a doubt or if you have any query. Okay, so I guess these points are clear to everyone. Yes. So now the next thing. Okay, one second. Okay, so now the next thing which we can do over here is okay. So now the next thing is about a primary key and a foreign key, guys. Okay, so now let's try to understand first. Okay, so I think we have discussed about a not null constant, we have discussed about like a check constant, and we have discussed about a unique constant. Okay, now it's time to discuss about a primary key and foreign key, guys. Okay, so what is a primary key? Primary key is again like it's a kind of a constant. You can see primary key is nothing but when I try to write like a not null plus unique. Okay, so even here also we have written not null and unique together. Okay, so if I have written not null and unique together, then it is called then it automatically becomes a primary key. Okay, so primary key constant over here is uniquely identify. Okay, so actually in each into a table, the unique record. Okay, so just like the registration ID should be unique. Okay, so like for one student it is like maybe one, for the second student it is two, for the third student it is three. Okay, so the registration ID for every student who are like actually into the college or like into the school, so the registration ID should be unique. Okay, so that registration ID I can consider it as a primary key. Okay, primary key must contain unique values and cannot contain null value. Okay, so you can see that primary key is nothing but it's a combination of not null and unique. Okay, so not null plus unique makes a primary key. That's the only thing. Okay, so even you can directly write over here, or you can try to use this primary key command and you can try to make any of your column as a primary key. Okay, and then there's a foreign key. So foreign key is what? Foreign key is nothing but okay. So guys, maybe like if you are from programming background, let's assume that suppose if you are from programming background, if you have like a knowledge of Python or maybe C++. Okay, so any programming language. So definitely you heard about inheritance over there. Okay, so into the inheritance there's a parent there's a parent class and there's a child class. Okay, so that is the same kind of relationship between a foreign key and a primary key, guys. Okay, so foreign key is actually a kind of a like a child key over here. Okay, so you can see primary key is a field that refers to the primary key. Okay, sorry, foreign key is a field that refers to the primary key. Okay, the table with the foreign key is called the child table, and the table with the primary key is called as a parent table. Okay, so for the foreign key constant is used to prevent. Okay, fine. This is fine. Now this is like a relation. So a table can have only one primary key, unique plus not null. Okay, so you can find out the here you can see the relation between primary key and a foreign key. Foreign key is used to make relation between two or more than two tables. Okay, so whenever I need to make the relation, I need to find out the relation between two or more than two tables, so I can use a foreign key. Then one table contain a primary key and other table contain a foreign key. Okay, so suppose if there are two tables, so one table should contain a primary key and the next table should contain a foreign key. A common column in both the tables. Okay, so there should be one common column in both the tables. Okay, and that column should have same data type. Now the primary key is actually the parent table. Okay, and foreign keys is actually in the child table. Okay, so let's try to build this. Okay, so let me create one table over here. So let we need to create two tables over here. Okay, so let me first refresh it because I guess two tables are already there. Okay, so now let me create two tables over here, and I can again put this mark over here so that is it clear? It should be clear that we are discussing about like a primary and foreign key. Okay, now let me create two table over here. Okay, and we are using a same Bootcamp database. So let me execute this first. Now create table. Okay, and I can create like a table over here with some name. Okay, so let me create a table with the maybe the info. Okay, now here I can take some Okay, so I can maybe take a name of the table as student. Let's see. And then there will be a registration ID of a student. Okay. So now this registration ID, I can try to make this as a primary key because this can be a unique one. Okay. So primary uh, key. Yes. So this registration ID can be a primary key. Then the name of the student. Okay. So student name should be a character. Okay, and then here I can write maybe the uh, student like a location. Okay, so maybe I can write a city over here, and this will be again a work here. So fine, this is like my this is my one table. Okay, and I make this like registration ID as a primary key directly over here. Okay, so you can see that. Yeah, I can write in this way also, and even in this way also, it is there will be no problem. Okay, so I guess this is fine. So this is one table we have created over here. Now let's create another table over here. So create table, and then there will be another table I can create, and maybe I can try to check the performance of the student. So performance. So or maybe I can make it as result. Now, again, there will be a registration ID. Okay, so registration ID I can write over here, but that is the same column I can write over here. But there is one more thing. Into the result, what I can write, I can write maybe uh, the actually the roll number of like a student. Okay, so maybe I can write. Okay, and it is fine. I can simply write S number. This is fine. You can write anything over here. Then name have written already over here. Maybe I can write the subject over here. That the marks in like a subject I can try to find out subject, and this can be a work here. And then the next one I can write as like a marks. How much marks I have, like a student are like getting. So I can maybe write in this way. That's okay. Now one thing should be common over here. Okay, so that one thing which should be common over here is this registration ID, I guess. Okay, so I think there is no need of S number. Fine. Let me write it this way. So registration ID should be common over here. Okay. Now let me make a foreign key over here. So how to make a foreign key? So I can write foreign key, and foreign key should be the common key in both the table. Okay, so here the common column in both the table is nothing but a registration ID. Okay. So let me take this as a foreign key, and then I can write now it should be referencing to the primary key. So references to which table? Okay, so this table. Okay, so here I can write student. Okay, references table, student, and into the student again the name of the column is registration ID. Okay, guys, so this is how you can make a relation between a primary key and a foreign key. Okay, so here you can see that now like you can see like what are all the things written into like over here when I try to make a relation between primary and foreign key. So you can see that a table can have one primary key. Okay, so yes, this table contains one primary key, which is registration ID, first thing. Second, foreign key is used to make a relation between two or more than two tables. Okay, so you can see that this foreign key over here is actually helped me to make a relation between these two table. Okay, so this is first table student and this is the second table result. Now the third thing, one table contain primary key, other table contain foreign key. So yes, here this table contain one primary key, okay, which is registration ID, and here this table contains a foreign key. Okay. Now the fourth point, a common column in both the tables, okay, and column should have same data type. So you can see that here the column is a registration ID. So this registration ID present into the student table, and the same registration ID present into the result table as well. Okay, and now the last point, primary key is the parent table and foreign key is the child table. Fine. Now what I need to do is, I guess we have created like a table over here. Now let me close this, and now let me run execute this table first. Okay, and I guess I have already executed this use bootcamp, so I don't think there will be any problem. Fine. So yes, you can see zero row is affected. So I'm able to execute this particular table. Okay, and in a similar way, I can try to execute this table. Okay, so both the tables are executed. Okay, so now both the tables are executed. Now, if I try to refresh this particular schemas, so you can see there are two more tables. Okay, so one is result, second one is student. Now let's try to put the values into the table and then see that what is a like a role of like primary and foreign key over here. Okay, so what I can do, I can try to write insert into student. Okay, I guess the name of the table is the student itself. Okay, and here I have registration ID. Then we have S name, and then we have city. Okay, and then let me put the values over here. So I can maybe write 449, the registration ID of a student, the name of the student, so maybe Shivam, and then the city of a student, so maybe Renakut. So this is how I can try to insert the value over here. Now let me just copy this thing for 2 to 3 times so that like I can put some more entries into my table. Okay. So I guess yes, we have put the I can put some like entries like over here. Okay, so maybe 449, then maybe 450, then maybe 451. Okay, and then I can change the name over here. So maybe I can write this name as maybe Dheeraj, and maybe I can write this name as Shalini. Okay, I can change this as maybe Rajasthan, okay, or maybe a city name, so it may be a Jaipur, and this I can make it as Varanasi. Now I can try to run this, okay, and now if you want to see the table, so yes, I can simply write select star from student, and you can see the table over here. Okay. So yes, what are all the values I have put it into the table? So all the values are you can see all the values over here. Now what you can do, you can see this registration ID is the column in both the table. Okay. So suppose here I have I try to put the value into this student like a table. In a similar way, you can try to put the value into like this second table, which is like a result. Okay, so try to put the values over here and then see the result, that what will happen. Okay, so what I can do, I can try to copy this. Okay, and I can try to run this again. Okay, Now here I can change the name of the table. So I can try to put into the result. And similarly, here we have a subject and marks. Okay, so here this should be a subject, and then here we have a marks. And let me copy this again so that we don't need to change again and again. And yes, and okay, done. And yeah, just change the name of the table. So this should be a result, and this should also be a result. Fine. And then registration ID I can maybe change for this. Okay, so let me take this as 460, and let me change this as okay. So the name of like a subject I can take over here as maybe okay. So I can take any subject over here. Maybe just take a physics, and let me take some marks over here. So maybe I can take a marks as like a 67. Similarly, like let me change the name of the subject over here. So maybe I can change the name of the subject as okay, as anything. Maybe like I can write over here as maths, and I can write a marks over here as 97. Then over here I can change the name of the subject. So I can write over here as Python, and into the Python I can try to write the marks as 57. I guess all these are correct. 85, fine. Now let me run this as well. So you can see that cannot add or update child row. Okay, a foreign key constraint fails. Okay, so what actually happened over here, guys? That you can see that here, like if I try to run this thing. Okay, so let me run this two line first over here. So you can see there is no problem. Okay, I can easily run this two like a line over here. Okay, so you cannot update this particular value. Okay, so whatever the registration ID you have assigned over here. Okay, now, definitely, a registration ID of a student should not be changed. Okay, uh, definitely, like whatever the name of the student, whatever the registration of ID of a student, it should not be changed. Okay, it should not be updated. Okay, so whatever the value you have assigned to this parent table. Okay, so here you can see cannot add or update into the child row. Okay, so that's what I told you that foreign key or foreign like the foreign key present into that table. So that table now becomes a child table. Okay, so you cannot make any update over here. Okay, so whatever the value, whatever the registration ID over here, you should take a same registration ID over here also. Okay, now if I try to so instead of like running this. Okay, so here I can try to execute this table. I can try to display this table, and similarly I can try to execute the second table also. So the second table is result. So let me execute the table result. Okay, because the last thing is only is not inserted into the table, but first two values are inserted. Okay, so you can see Python mass. Okay, so like it is repeated two times. Okay, so because we have inserted like these values for multiple times. Okay, so what I can do, I can maybe take this 451, and now I can try to execute this. So now you can see this value will execute only for one time, last value. Okay, 451. Okay, so don't worry, guys. These values are not actually repeated values. What you have done, you just try to insert these two things like twice. Okay, you can see over here into your action output. You can see that insert into the result. So the last time also when like when this thing when this is giving you an error. So at that time also you try to like execute this two thing, and that's why like you have two times, you have like 449 and 450, and then again you have executed this. Okay, so that's why you have like this Python and maths are repeated over here. Okay, but the same thing is not with the physics, because you are not repeated this thing over here. Okay, so yeah, this is how guys say you can make a relation between two table, okay, by using a foreign key. Okay, so that's why I like this foreign key is very important, over here. Okay, so let me open the chat box, and now let me tell me guys. Okay, so if you are finding any difficulty to understand like anything, okay, so please tell me guys. Okay, so let me now go into the chat, because I think today not opening this PPT at my side. I don't know that why it is happening then. You can try to open, you can go into this attendance, and from here also you can try to open this. Yeah. Okay. Actually, for me, table is not creating. A table is not creating any solution. Table, I don't know, guys. Yeah, table. I think creation of table is very easy job. Okay, you can send me that error, Chandru. Okay, so I can only help you out if I can see your error. That what error you are getting. Okay, so just try to put your error into the comment, and I will try to get back to you. Okay, because uh, without checking an error, I can't say that why your table is not creating. Once again, can you explain? Okay, from where we will get the certificate? I guess all these things are written over here. Okay, all these things are like written over here, that from where you get a certificate. Okay, so these things are already mentioned. Sir, please explain. Okay, I will explain primary key once again. Don't worry. Okay, let's create community members audience. Okay, fine. Is there any homework today, sir? What type of data type is used when we want to combine both integers and characters in a single column? एक single column में column should be it can be integer, or it can be string only. Okay, it should not be both. I have cleared my doubts now. Okay, thank you. Sir, the foreign key is there is a chance to get duplicate values. Uh, no, no, because whatever into the same column, there cannot be duplicate value because the primary key itself tells that it's a unique values only. How to delete duplicate record from sir foreign key एक बार फिर से बता दो. Okay, where should we submit our assignment? Okay, fine. Let me okay, I will take this foreign key and like this thing again, because maximum guys are asking this thing, that just tell this thing once again. Okay, 1 second. So yeah. So, what is a primary key, guys? So, primary key is nothing but it's a combination of not null and unique. Okay, that's it. Okay, if you're not able to understand so many things over here, so just try to understand that this primary key is nothing but it's a combination of not null and unique. It means that like suppose if I make this key, if I make this particular column as a primary key. Okay, so in table there should be only one primary key. Okay, into a table there should be only one primary key. So suppose if I make this table as a primary key, so now this particular column should not be a null value. Okay, so there should not be any null value into this column, first thing. And second thing, that any value into this column should not be a repeated one. So like अगर यार किसी स्टूडेंट का रजिस्ट्रेशन आईडी है, तो किसी भी रजिस्ट्रेशन कभी भी किसी स्टूडेंट्स के रजिस्ट्रेशन आईडी रिपीट नहीं होते. ओके, मेरी रजिस्ट्रेशन आईडी कुछ अगर 449 है, तो डेफिनेटली 449 किसी और की रजिस्ट्रेशन आईडी नहीं होगी. Okay, it may be 445, it may be 446, it can be anything, but it should not be 449. ओके, अगर लास्ट के 3 डिजिट चेंज हो रहे हैं तो. सो रजिस्ट्रेशन आईडी शुड नॉट बी सेम फॉर एनी स्टूडेंट. ओके, सो primary key is what? Primary key is something where you should not you should not have a duplicate values. Okay, it should always be a unique values. Okay, that is what a definition of a primary key. Okay, so primary key is the one जिसको भी आप प्राइमरी की बना रहे हो, जिस भी लाइक वॉट एवर द लाइक कॉलम ओवर हियर टू विच यू आर मेकिंग अ प्राइमरी की, it should not be a null value. Okay, there should not be a null value, and it should not be a duplicate value. Okay, it should always be a unique value. That's the only definition of a primary key. I guess now the primary key is clear to everyone. Okay. Now is it clear, guys? Any doubt regarding a primary key? Okay. Now the second thing about a foreign key. So foreign key is the one which help us to make the relation between the primary key and the foreign key. Okay, so like if I want to make like relation between these two between these two table. Okay, so if I want to make any relation between these two table, so there I can use a foreign key. Okay, so foreign key is the one which help us to make a relation between primary key and a foreign key. Okay, or between or even where there is a foreign key, so you can call this particular table. Okay, so I can call this particular table as a parent table, and I can call this particular table as a child table. Okay, so foreign key is the one which help us to make a relation between parent table and a child table. Okay, that's the only thing. Okay, so foreign key is the one which help us to make a relation between a parent table and a child table. Okay. So now guys, if you want to learn the relationship, so you can only go through these 5 points. Okay, this is more than enough to understand the relation between primary key and foreign key. Okay, and someone into the chat asked that what's the difference between foreign key and a parent key. So yeah, primary key over here is actually the it actually belongs to the parent table. Okay, so primary key belongs to the parent table and foreign key belongs to the like a child table. Okay, so that's the difference over here, guys. Okay, so primary key belongs to a parent table and foreign key belongs to a child table. Okay, so this 4 points are are actually help you to understand the relation, guys. Okay, so foreign key is the one which help us to make a relation between two or more than two tables. Okay, and one table contain a primary key, another table should contain a foreign key, and there should be one common column into both the tables. Okay, and yeah, as someone asked that how to make relation between more than one table, so yes, what you can do, you can try to create like a more table over here, and by using a foreign key you can try to make relation with that table also. Okay, it's simply it's just like a multiple inheritance. Okay. Yes, sir. Clear. Thank you, guys. Okay, so yeah, assignment. You'll get the assignment after this session. Okay, so I will give you. I will put the assignment into this into the YouTube itself, or maybe you'll get the assignment into this assignment section. Okay, so you can go here and you can try to complete the assignment over here. Okay, and guys, please check your progress every day into the attendance, so that there will be no problem for you to get a certificate. Okay, so please mark your attendance every day. Okay, it's very important. And yeah, and if you're liking the session, if you want to become a full stack data scientist, so yeah, definitely guys, you should join this program. Okay, so this program is for end-to-end data science. Okay, and you get and right now there's an offer, you'll get 7,000 off. Okay, so the actual price is 36,000, but you'll get 7,000 off on this actual price. Okay, and it's you'll get 100% like a placement assistance, guys, over here. So it's a very good program. You'll going to learn like each and everything over here. Okay, so and we are going to discuss about very top notch projects over here, like how Spotify works. Okay, so how face recognition system works. Okay, how Twitter actually works. Okay, so we will discuss about these things, like that Spotify, YouTube, everywhere you get a recommendation. Okay, so you will learn into the real time that okay, how that recommendation actually works. Okay, how Spotify is making a recommendation for me, how YouTube is making a recommendation for me. Okay, so we will discuss these projects into our into our program. Okay, so definitely if you want to become a data scientist, so it's a very good opportunity for you. You should definitely join this particular program. It's a 6 month program, and it will be an effective one, guys. Okay, definitely you'll get a placement, and yeah, apart from the placement, it's data science is right now is an emerging field. Okay, and people are uh, like uh, uh, you should definitely look for this particular program. Okay, so yeah, so you should definitely join this program if you want to become a proper data scientist. Okay, because yeah, definitely one day or in 2 days or in 3 days, it's not possible to become a data scientist. So you should definitely join this program. Okay, so yeah, guys. Now the next thing, let me just wrap up this thing, wrap up this session for today. Okay, so let me just talk about two more queries over here, and then we can wrap up the session for today. Okay, so there is one thing, guys, which is called a limit. Okay, so there is one thing we can a top loss. Okay, so there is one thing we can call it as a top loss. Okay, now what is the meaning of top loss, guys? So suppose into my student, I have actually three entries over here. Okay, I have three entries over here. Let's assume that I want to see only top two rows. Okay, so it may be here I have creating like a table by myself, but definitely when you're trying to work with the real data, so there can be 1000 rows, or there can be 10,000 rows, there can be 15,000 rows. Okay, so over there, if you want to check just top five rows, if you want to check just two rows, top two rows. Okay, so there what you can do, you can try to use something called a top loss. Okay, so I can write over here, select star from this particular table student, select star from students, select student, and you can set the limit over here, limit 2. It means that I want to see only first two rows. Okay, so you can see now you can see only the first two rows over here. And in a similar way, guys, there is one more thing which you can which you can do over here. So there is something called auto increment. Okay, so into my id, I need to write this id again and again and again. Okay, so there is one thing called a increment. Okay, auto increment. Okay, so you can also perform a auto increment over here. So suppose for my id, I don't want to write one, two, three, in that way. Okay, I just want to auto increment over here. So for that, you can use something called a auto increment over here. So how I can write this? So what I can do, I can try to create a table over here. Create table, and I can try to create new table over here as hello, and here there can be id. Inside the id, I can have a integer. Okay, now this integer should be not null. Okay, or in place of not null, even you can write directly, you can write it as a primary key. Okay, so that primary key is just it's a combination of not null and unique. Okay, so you can directly write primary key over here. Okay, and then I can write auto increment. Okay, and then I can take the second thing over here. So maybe I can take over here as like anything. Maybe I can take this as age int, and okay, and this is fine. Maybe I can write something else over here. Maybe I can write this. customer name and work here. So fine. Now this table is created, guys. So this is a new table I have created. Now what I can do, I can simply write insert into hello, and inside the hello I can take ID, I can take the age, and I can take the CD. Okay, insert into hello values. Okay, and here I can take maybe like okay, so maybe here you don't need to write this thing. Let me check it over here. Yeah, so maybe I don't need to take this ID over here. I can simply take age and C name. So maybe age I can take like 32, and C name I can try to take as I can take the customer name as maybe Ankit. Okay, now I can try to run this. Let's see what will happen. Okay, so you can see like into the primary key, I told you earlier that it's a combination of not null and unique. Okay, but I didn't written anything over here, but still I'm not getting an error. Okay, you can see that like we are able to execute this line. Okay, why? Because I have written auto increment over here, so automatically it takes this ID value as one. Okay, for the first time it automatically takes the value as one. Okay, now if I try to write select star from hello, so you can see the table over here. So select star from hello, and let's see the table over here. So yes, you can see it automatically takes ID as one. Now, if you try to like insert more values into this table, okay. So let's see the second value I want to insert over here as 27, and you can try to change the name over here. Maybe you can try to take it as 50, and then let me run this again. Okay, so yes, you can see one row is affected, and now if I run this, so you can see into the ID we have two, age is 27, and now the name is Betty. Okay, so automatically it will increment the value of this ID. Okay, so now if you try to insert the third value, so it will make this ID as 3, then 4, then 5, and then so on. Okay, so this is what we call the auto increment, guys, over here. Okay, so in this way you can do the auto increment. So yes, guys, I think this is that's it for today, and I guess we have completed all the like queries, all the commands, which and all these are the basic commands. Okay, which I want to take. So I guess all these basic commands are now over. Now there are some like I can say there are some uh, standard commands, or there are some like um, standard commands which we can try to cover. Okay, so that I will cover into the next session. Okay, so it will contain like a windows and different commands. Okay, so I will try to cover that window command, and I will talk about some more commands in tomorrow's session. Okay, yeah, you can share the drive link for the assignment, guys. Okay. Yeah, it is for integers. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll discuss about some more interesting commands. Okay, and even tomorrow I will start discussing about the case study. Okay, so maybe it will be based upon a Swiggy. It is based upon a Swiggy, or maybe it is based upon some other case study, but I will take a real life case study tomorrow. Okay, so fine, guys. That's it. Thank you so much. Bye bye, and please join the session tomorrow at the same time. And if you are liking the session, please like it. And I guess hopefully you are enjoying the session. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, and yeah, guys, complete course of data analytics. Yeah, we are planning for that. Rajiv, we'll start that thing soon. You guys will get the assignment, guys. You'll definitely get the assignment over here itself. Okay, So don't worry. By the end of tonight, you'll get the assignment. Okay. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.